Yes, I did. He, he's still, he's still holding out hopes that something would happen, but, you know, they fixed the driveway, they fixed everything. I've talked to him a couple times. He was really distraught about the way he was treated. I mean, he was treated like he would have given us anything. And the other thing, I had a deal worked out for him. The thing, we talked about it. We could have got that building tore down for nothing. Exchanged the land for the building. And it saved us another $1 million. Yeah, I mean, and they lied. The thing that makes me so mad is the ad hoc committee lied about things. There was one tile in there. They said a roof leak. I hadn't told anybody, but I had an engineer when I first looked at it before I even come to the county board and told Bob Young. Bob Young really ticked me off. I had an engineer from Morris when I was mayor. They used to be there. I hired him to come down here, go through the building with us, and he said, this is a no-brainer. We did everything they were supposed to do. He lied about the sewer. They wouldn't write a letter. Him and Fanning and the board chairman, they went out there and tried to get a letter from him, and they said, no, there's nothing wrong. It's downstream. But John had told me before, if they were upset about or worried about the sewer, he'd put in a bigger sewer at no cost for us out. Because it's probably from here, well, it's about 200 feet to where the city sewer is, from his building to the city sewer. And he said it is, they put it in, it's not capable of taking care of that restaurant and the other two things. That's where the problem is. The restaurant flushes all the grease and everything down.
Guys, your mic's live, so everything you guys are talking about is going on.
I would like to call this Thursday, October 22nd, Livingston County Board meeting to order, please. Notice to silence your cell phones and your watches. Apparently I didn't do that myself. So we will have the invocation by Pastor Jan Ambrose, please.
Let's bow our heads for prayer. Heavenly Father, we come before your throne tonight, giving you all the honor and glory and praise that is due your holy name. Father, in John 3:16, it reads, "For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish but have everlasting life." Because of this perfect love given to us, we can confidently approach your throne of grace, asking you for your wisdom to be given for decisions this evening that need to be made by this faithful board of directors for our county, Livingston. We thank you in advance, Father, now for answering this prayer. In Jesus' precious name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Pastor Jan. And now we'll have the Pledge of Allegiance led by Doc Carley. Okay, now we'll have roll call, please.
Carly.
Present.
Weller. Ambrose. Mays.
Here.
Lovell.
Here.
Bidston. Blackard.
Here.
Airing.
Here.
Runyon.
Here.
Killian.
Here.
Wilkie.
Here.
Kirkton.
Here.
Vietti.
Here.
Bunning. Slagle.
Here.
Manker. Steichen. Schaefer.
Here.
Fannin.
Here.
Kestner. Ritter. Arbogast.
Here.
Barrickman.
Here.
Allen. Here.
Okay, thank you. Before the approval of agenda, we will be removing the executive session. So with that amendment, I need a motion, please.
Motion to approve the agenda by Fannin. Second.
Second by Kirkton. Roll call when you're ready, Christie.
Carly.
Yes.
Weller. Ambrose.
I didn't hear what was deleted or added.
The executive session.
It's taken off?
Yes.
Okay, then yes.
Mays.
Yes.
Lovell.
Yes.
Bidston. Blackard. Airing.
Yes.
Runyon.
Yes.
Killian.
Yes.
Wilkie.
Yes.
Kirkton.
Yes.
Vietti. Bunning. Bunning. Slagle.
Yes.
Manker. Steichen. Schaefer.
Yes.
Fannin.
Yes.
Kestner. Ritter. Arbogast.
Yes.
Barrickman.
Yes.
And Allen. Yes.
Okay, we have the minutes before you. Need a motion for the...
There are no minutes.
Oh, sorry.
I had lots of voters in our office, and we're not getting anything other, I didn't get them done
That's fine.
because we got so
That's
many.
fine.
So,
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, Christie.
So do we need to approve that there's no minutes then?
Okay. Now we'll move down to presentations, COVID status report from Miss Jackie Deaver, or Ms., or Mrs.
Give a little update on what's happening with COVID.
Thank you. Just as a recap, our first case we had on March 17th. Obviously, today is our last case we've had so far. We are currently at 628 cases, and we have 83 active cases, which is the most we've had ever. So we are obviously not trending in the right direction. We've had 10 deaths. We've had 16 outbreaks, which is more than we typically have in several years. In a breakdown of those, we've had 1 in the school, we've had 7 in factories and businesses, we've had 5 in congregate living, and that's a little misleading because those have tended to keep going on. They don't, we're not able to close those out. And we have at least 3 that are considered private gatherings, and I know for certain that those are very underreported. So we're trending more towards private gatherings and having families. It's just spreading like wildfire through multiple families, and that tends to be where most of our numbers are coming from right now, besides the prison. And a lot of those are inmates, and the staff that's going down a little bit, so that is good news. Unfortunately, too, we've had a lot more hospitalizations. I think we're up to 5 right now as of today, currently. And a couple of those that I've been watching, we've actually discharged patients because they've gotten past their 10 days of isolation, and they've ended up going into the hospital, a couple, 3 days after that. So that's not a trend we want to see either. A lot of our cases are still within the 20 to 40-year range, and then probably higher up in the 60 plus. Other than COVID, the one thing we're working on, today I got rapid tests in my office sent to us from the state. We've got 3.2 million of those that have been sent to Illinois from the federal government, and we will be dispersing those. We don't have everything in order to do that yet. We have to have some standing orders. We have to get CLIA certificates for all the agencies that are going to be receiving these. We had hoped that some of these would be for the schools. It doesn't look like that's probably going to be an avenue we're going to be able to do, but just because there's too many roadblocks in place. So we're going to look at Plan B, which may mean my staff doing some of the rapid tests and having students come over to the health department so they can get that done. These are antigen tests. It takes 15 minutes for them, and results come through. And if they are symptomatic, which is the only ones that we should be using these on, then we'll be able to take care of that right away, get the kids out of school that need to be out, and keep the kids in that can remain. And that's really the whole goal, because right now if a student is symptomatic, they have to come out along with all of their siblings. So it's keeping a lot of kids out of school for extended lengths of time if we have to wait for PCR testing to come through, which could be 3-4 days down the road. So that's a good thing that's happening. The other thing we're working on is our mass vaccination plan. That's very fluid at this point. The state is still trying to figure out, honestly, how we're going to disperse all of the vaccinations. The vaccine is going to have to be kept at a minus 80 degrees, which for any of you who are aware, that's not even something we've ever done before. And it's called an ultra cold, that we are going to need a freezer for that if that ends up being the case, or keep it on dry ice. So there's lots of planning that's going to have to go into this, and we'll see where it all pans out in probably a matter of weeks. So I'd be glad to take any questions if anyone has anything for me.
I have a question. When you mention the schools, do we have any schools in the county currently closed? Or how many kids might be out of school in the county, any number?
We don't have any that are currently closed. We had one that went back, I believe, on Monday, and the other one, both should be back in school now.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and as far as kids out of school, it's kind of hard to tell, honestly, from day to day. That varies. We're not able to truly keep track of that at our level. The school nurses are really doing an amazing job of keeping track of all of that and contact tracing along with us.
Jackie, the White's still closed for one more week.
Are they closed one more? I couldn't remember if they opened up this week or at the end of this week.
They're closed.
Next Monday? Yeah. Yeah. And honestly, the schools are, we're not seeing a lot of transmission within the school district. We do have students who are positive, but it's not happening, except for one instance that it actually happened within the school. So they're doing an amazing job.
I wanted to ask, are you confident with the accuracy of these rapid tests that you were talking about? Because I've been hearing things on television that they're not as accurate as...
That is true. PCR is the gold standard, but if you are using them within the right circumstances, which is why I said that they need to be symptomatic. So students who are showing symptoms, a rapid test is like 98% effective. So that in that instance, it's good. Where you get into trouble is a false negative. That's what we're more concerned with rapid tests than a false positive.
Jackie, I have one question. Have you investigated what it would take to get a freezer to hold?
Yes. They're $10,000. And they don't hold very many. That only held about 300 doses, which that's
A day's worth.
not even. So this is, and we did investigate whether we should buy one or not. And I've, reached out to the state again, and they're pretty much telling us no. And in fact, the last response I got was, we're not paying for it. You're not allowed to use state grant funds to buy this because they have alternate plans on how they're going to do it. Basically, what's going to happen is it's going to get shipped to us. We're going to have about 24 hours to use the vaccine that we've been given. So they'll give us only the amount that we're able to truly vaccinate, and then we'll wait for a next shipment. So they'll be shipping it on dry ice, which I'm not, and they've asked us if we can get people who can supply us with dry ice, and honestly, I'm not going to do that. My staff's not been trained in how to do that. I don't feel comfortable with it. So we'll get it shipped to us. It's stable for a length of time that we'll be able to dispense it. That's part of our plan.
Okay. How soon is this vaccine supposed to be available then?
I don't have an answer to that. We were supposed to plan for it November 1st, knowing we're not going to get it that soon. But their last I've heard was December.
So they know that they have to have this freezer or this cold to have it done already, but they don't have the vaccine. Okay,
So what they're planning on doing is they have hubs that are able to hold great amounts of vaccine at this level. In X amount of time.
Mrs. Bieber, this is Paul Ritter.
Hi.
So I have a couple of questions. What I'm hearing you say is that our greatest threat right now to our county is not our businesses who have been doing their part to try and make it happen, but local parties. Is that correct?
That is absolutely right.
Okay. I'm also hearing you say that our school systems are doing their part to keep our kids safe and manage the outbreaks as that's going. Is that correct?
That is correct.
I did not fully understand with regards to the prison. Obviously, that's a somewhat closed cell, no pun intended here. But what kind of numbers are we seeing coming out of that in regards to inmates and correctional officers? And are we seeing an uptick there, or is that something manageable? And then where are I know this is a long question, I apologize. Where is the status of our hospitals at this point with regards to overloads, supplies, etc.?
So the prison, our numbers right now have been primarily inmates. We will get some of the staff, one or two cases, maybe every couple of days. And I actually talked with the deputy director of the DOC yesterday about some issues that I was concerned about. So they are very open to hearing some of the things that we're seeing that are causing some issues with the staff being able to get tested, for one, and the use of their sick time. Some of those issues, we kind of discussed, and I think there's some misinformation there that has not been shared. And so she told me that they would work on getting that information out to the staff so that they do know how they can get off, get paid time off to get testing done. That's really part of it. And they are just testing a lot more of the inmates right now. So that's why we're seeing great numbers come through. We're seeing 15 to 20 come through at a time, positives. So I think we have to identify who these cases are before we can stop it and deal with a few of these issues which are being dealt with now. In regards to the hospital, the beds and from what I understand, are not at capacity and not close to that at this point. So as far as Livingston County goes, we're okay with that. Does that answer your questions? I'm not sure if I forgot something.
No, you've done a wonderful job, and I commend you and your staff, and the nurses in the schools that are doing a great job. I get to see it firsthand with what I do for a living, and I can tell you that I've seen really great things as far as the way people are working, and I applaud you and your staff.
Thank you.
Jackie, so you're anticipating that a lot of people will want to take the shot because you've heard people say, no, they're not, they're going to, wait and see how it does, et cetera. And will anybody be mandated to take it, like healthcare workers and stuff? Because do you guys have to take a flu shot? A regular flu shot?
Some health agencies do require that they take the flu shot, yes, or they have to sign a waiver that they're not, and then they are required to wear their mask the entire time they're, like the entire flu season.
Oh.
So that is one of the ways that if you're mandated to take it but you don't take it, that's what you have to do.
And do you anticipate, health departments mandating that their workers go ahead and take this?
I don't anticipate that. I think it's going to be strongly recommended, but we've never required, we've had 98% of our staff take it every year anyway. I don't have to require it. I don't know what this is how people are going to react to this. It's going to come out in very limited amounts to start with, and they already have the high-risk people that are going to be first in line to get it. So by the time it rolls out to the general public, I think there's going to be some pretty good information on it.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Could you give us a breakdown on the high-risk people that would be the first in line to get it? What are we talking about? Age? Are we talking about?
Some of it is healthcare workers, first responders will be hospital staff are the top priority, and then it will go down to probably long-term care would be next in line too. So those groups, the congregate living facilities, will probably be at the top of the list also.
Mrs. Devers, can I ask a quick question? And I'm going to kind of capitalize on what Mr. Ritter asked. You reported initially tonight that there are 83 active cases, correct? Mm-hmm. And you also reported that 5 are in the hospital, correct?
Yes.
All right, so of those, let's just look at the 83 active cases. Of those 83 cases, how many of those are in the prison system here in Livingston County?
None of those, because
That's a closed system, so it kind of skewers your numbers just a little bit when you report 83. So of those 83 cases, you know, I think it'd be good to know how many are not in the prison system.
Well, this is what I can tell you. I can't, we don't keep track of that because the system, the prison follows their own. So the numbers get counted in our numbers, but we don't follow them. So once we get them in, we close them and send them over to the prison. So those are not included in our active numbers.
So those are not part of that
No.
83? Okay.
No.
That's what I was trying to clarify.
Yeah.
If those numbers were part of that 83?
No, they get counted in our daily totals, and they're included in that 628 or whatever total numbers we
I mean,
have.
'cause you could have a prisoner come in from a different prison system who's COVID positive, gets sent to Pontiac, and then.
Doesn't
okay,
count
so-
in our system.
And then he's active positive, so then he counts against our numbers, correct?
No,
No.
not if he's transferred from somewhere else. That number is counted only once. So that number originated with whatever county he was first active in.
No, my point is, he may not have been counted there. He became positive at another facility, then gets sent to Pontiac, where he's counted in our numbers then. I mean, he could have been positive before he came here, and they didn't know. He wasn't tested. So, I mean, correct? Does that make sense?
But no, it doesn't.
All right.
If he's positive, yes. So if he came from, say what's another prison system?
No, what he's saying is, he could have been positive in another joint. He comes here, he gets tested, he pops positive here. So that goes against our grand total, not against our active cases, correct?
Correct.
Okay. That's what I.
Sorry.
Thank you, Marty.
It's been a long day.
I speak Kirkton.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Any other questions for Jackie? I just want to say, Jackie, thank you to you and your staff. You guys have put a lot of hours in. I know you're stressed out there, but you guys are doing a fantastic job, and I think I can speak for everyone. We all appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Next, we move down to consent agenda, the approval of bills, and we have some appointments. Debbie Moran, do them all together. Debbie Moran, Mental Health 708 Board. Gary Byer, Mental Health 708 Board. Paul Gray, Northeast Sullivan Mona Drainage District. Eddie Horner, Livingston County Regional Planning Commission. And Dee Woodburn, Livingston County Regional Planning Commission.
Motion to approve the consent agenda by Fannin.
Fannin, I need a second.
Second by Blackard.
Okay. Roll call, please.
Carly,
Yes.
Weller, Ambrose,
Yes.
Mays,
Yes.
Lovell,
Yes.
Fitstum, Blackard,
Yes.
Airing,
Yes.
Runyon,
Yes.
Killian,
Yes.
Wilkie,
Yes.
Kirkton,
Yes.
Vietti, Bunning, Slagle,
Yes.
Manker, Steichen, Schaefer,
Yes.
Fannin,
Yes.
Kestner, Ritter, Arbogast,
Yes.
Barrickman,
Yes.
Allen. Yes.
Okay, thank you. Now we move down to action agenda, committee reports. I will turn it over to Mr. Lovell, Highway Committee.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Tonight, we've got 5 items on the agenda. We've got a bridge petition for Reading Road District. That is for $27,000. Item B, we have a hydraulic design for a bridge in Nebraska Road District to determine water flow out there, to see what we need for a bridge. That's going to be $7,500. We also have letting results in there in our packet tonight for a road widener to be utilized by the County Highway Department for $45,000. That's in budget. We also have a resolution tonight providing for the collection of fees of oversized and overweight vehicles operating in Livingston County. In the past, this has been a temporary resolution, and now we're making it a permanent resolution to where we don't have to bring it up every year. And then we also have the quarterly report tonight for the third quarter, which is in the packet. And if there's any questions, Clay's back there at the microphone. And then we're ready to approve all these in one motion. Clay, any questions? I make a motion that we, okay, go ahead, John.
On the fees and stuff for the overweight vehicles, has all the local truck drivers and stuff been okay with everything? Has there been issues?
It's been working quite well. We are utilizing the system of Oxcart, and that's how they log in and create their account. And the collection of the fees works through that site, and so it's been working well. So we're able to monitor all of those permits through emails and then approve or deny. And along with the state permits coming through, we can actually match them up to because if they're coming on a state route then onto a local road, then we can see that as well. So, it's been working well.
About how much does that bring in?
Annually, anywhere from 25 to 30,000 is what we have been seeing. Might be a little bit heavier every year this year, but we're already over that 25, I know. So.
Thank you.
Any other questions? I make a motion that we approve these action items.
Second.
Runyon, second. Need a roll call, please.
Carly,
Yes.
Weller, Ambrose,
Yes.
Mays,
Yes.
Lovell,
Yes.
Fitzdum,
Yes.
Blackard,
Yes.
Herring,
Yes.
Runyon,
Yes.
Killian,
Yes.
Wilkie,
Yes.
Kirkton,
Yes.
Vieti, Bunning, Slagle,
Yes.
Manker, Steichen, Schaefer,
Yes.
Fannin,
Yes.
Kestner, Ritter, Arbogast,
Yes.
Barrickman,
Yes.
Allen. Yes.
Clay, I would like to take this time to personally thank you and your crew too as well for helping out with the parking at the Public Health Department and IHR. I believe you told me tonight that they had added, 10 more feet, Clay?
I think it was probably another 50, 60 feet long,
Oh.
10. So it was a pretty good stretch. They completed that last Friday, maybe. So, yeah,
Yeah, I appreciate everything you have done to help us out with that. Thank you.
no problem.
Okay, now we move down to Ag and Zoning. Mr. Bunting, are you there?
I am here. I first have to apologize for the fact that I'm not there in person. I will not have you look at the weather. I'm not going to ask for the afternoon off. We probably should continue tomorrow. And I'm also going to apologize for the background noise. I'm trying to be as quiet as I can. But we have one action item tonight for you tonight. It is a zoning case F3-20B-7-20. I think Chuck was going to join us via Zoom. Are you on mute and ready to speak on it, Chuck? Yeah, I'm on mute. I can get a question over here. I can report and then kind of primarily doing so. Hopefully it's something on the board. Any questions or concerns from the full board? I will make a motion to approve the zoning fee. I'll second.
Steve? Lovell, second?
Yes.
Okay. Roll call, please.
Carly,
Yes.
Weller, Ambrose,
Yes.
Mays,
Yes.
Lovell,
Yes.
Fitzdum, Blackard,
Yes.
Aaron.
Yes.
Runyon.
Yes.
Killian.
Yes.
Wilkie.
Yes.
Kirkton.
Yes.
Vietti. Bunning. Slagle.
Yes.
Manker. Steichen. Schaefer.
Yes.
Fannin.
Yes.
Kestner. Ritter.
Yes.
Arbogast.
Yes.
Barrickman.
Yes.
Allen.
Yes. Okay.
That's all I have for that item, Madam Chair, but I will give you one informational item. I know many of you have heard last month in September, we started having discussions about opening up the ordinance and going from the 499 feet on wind towers for rural life to 650. The committee had some conversation after Jesse and Chuck had put part of this information together for us, and we decided to kill it in committee. We are not opening up the wind ordinance for subdivision permits. So, other than that, that is all I've got, and I will back on to you unless there's any questions.
Okay, any other questions for Jason?
Gina Manker.
Gina?
Thank Gina.
No. Yes. Did you have a question about that, Gina? Okay, thanks, Jason.
Always part of the consent.
Okay, now we move down to property committee. Mr. Killian.
Well, thank you, after all that. We have a couple items. The presentation of the lease agreement, everybody should have in their packet. It amounts to roughly 216.51 acres. Probably not going to be quite that much because we are using part of that soybean field south of the H&E building and IHR for parking. So it's give or take. That comes about $307.50 an acre, and that should be about $68,477.18. And this is to the Ledford family. They did the lease last year with us, and I guess we need a motion on that.
So moved.
Well, yes, who moved?
Somebody did.
Motion by Fannin.
Mays?
No, there were.
Mays and Fannin. Roll call, please.
Carly.
Yes.
Weller. Ambrose.
Yes.
Mays.
Yes.
Lovell.
Yes.
Fitstum. Blackard.
Yes.
Herring.
Yes.
Runyon.
Yes.
Killian.
Yes.
Wilkie.
Yes.
Kirkton.
Yes.
Vietti. Bunning. Slagle.
Yes.
Manker. Schaefer.
Yes.
Fannin.
Yes.
Ritter.
Yes.
Arbogast.
Yes.
Barrickman.
Yes.
Allen.
Yes.
Okay, then we're going to move on to the a resolution. It's a waiver for a portion of the rent for IHR. Mr. Joe Vaughn is here. We would like to reduce it by $1,000. So that would end up being about $1,083 a month. We would reduce it when the fiscal year starts, and then when H&E building is done and we move in. Any questions on that? I think it went to finance or was going to go to finance. I didn't know if they
It
just...
did, and that, fine with that.
I'd like to make the motion to approve of this resolution for the reduction of rent.
Who's second? John Vidston? Okay. Roll call, please.
Carly.
Yes.
Ambrose.
Yes.
Mays.
Yes.
Lovell.
Yes.
Fitstum. Blackard.
Yes.
Herring.
Yes.
Runyon.
Yes.
Killian.
Yes.
Wilkie.
Yes.
Kirkton.
Yes.
Vietti. Bunning. Slagle.
Yes.
Manker. Station. Schaefer.
Yes.
Bannon.
Yes.
Ritter.
Yes.
Arbogast.
Yes.
Barrickman.
Yes.
Allen.
Yes.
Thank you. One other thing, we had Mr. Verdon and his crew gave us a report. A lot of stuff always being repaired at the public safety complex. It's just kind of standard operating procedure that stuff does happen. They had some water heaters and stuff had been replaced, and the filters, after they run so long, they had to put you have to put new filters in just because of stuff that might be in the water heaters. And they're going to be checking them every month. Law and Justice Center, there's always a little bit of stuff there. IHR, we had the state fire marshal go through, and there's a couple doors that are going to have to be looked at for some repairs. But basically, no real major things. I know they had to work on the boiler a little bit when it got chilly. And they got it to run, and hopefully they put enough Band-Aids on it to keep it running until we get the new one built. And that is all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Patrick, and I would like to, I'm not sure if Don is on tonight, but I would like to take this opportunity to thank him and his crew as well for helping us out there at the Public Health Department and IHR with everything they have done to help ease the pain of the parking and everything. So appreciate it. Next, we'll move down to Finance Committee. Mr. Schaefer.
Thank you, Chairman Arbogast. With us tonight is our Finance Officer, Diane Schwan, and will help present fiscal year 2021 budget, levies, and other good stuff.
Hopefully everyone got the budget. It was sent an email, so hopefully you all got it, and there were hard copies if you weren't able to get it. So then I'm just going to give you some highlights, some summaries from what you're looking at. Due to the uncertainty this year concerning the economic downturn resulting from the virus, the board adopted short-term goals for the 2021 budget season. It was to maintain or reduce the general fund functional deficit cap of $1.2 million, and we were able to meet that goal this year. It came in at $1,175,911. In the capital budget section of the budget, on page 215, it shows the specific amounts that are tied to that cap, so you can see exactly what we're doing. There were approved capital requests of $288,396, a transfer to the vehicle fund for $409,100, and then a transfer to the general fund of $477,941. Just to give you an idea, last year, the approved capital request for $425,897, the transfer to the vehicle fund was the same, and then the transfer to the general fund was $358,362, and last year's deficit was $1,193,359. So we did a little better. The other goal was to maintain or reduce the current county tax rate. The tax levy worksheet is on page 70 in the budget, and our rate has decreased consistently over the past 5 years. In fiscal year 2021, the rate is 1.12374, and the rate last year when we did the budget was 1.15029. There is more information regarding the tax extensions in the transmittal letter. There's some graphs and telling you exactly what the extensions are and what our portion is. So that's all in the letter at the beginning of the budget. An overview of our revenue and expenses is in that letter, as I explained, and then it's also detailed in the budget summaries, which is on pages 53 through 68 in the document. Across all funds, revenues and expenses are shown on page 55 and 56. They're listed by fund and then separated by type. So you can see the types of expenses that we have and the types of revenues that we have. There are also new tables this year showing 2 years of actuals, estimated fiscal year 20 and budgeted 21 revenue and expenses. So there's pie charts also to go with those tables. Revenues across all funds, less transfers, are $26,519,296. It's about a 6% increase from fiscal year 2020. That's across all funds. Expenditures across all funds, less transfers, are about $35,170,161. That's a 5% increase over fiscal year 2020. This year, our expenditures exceed the revenues by approximately $8.6 million. This difference is attributed to the $6.3 million for the construction of the new H&E building, and there's an $2.2 million across all highway funds, a deficit across all the highway funds. This is almost exactly the same spot that we were in a year ago. The expenses over revenues last year were $8.5 million attributed to the building, also highway expenses and economic development initiatives. So because some of those things didn't happen, then we're right still in the same spot. Revenue and expenses in the general fund are in the budget summaries that are on pages 62 to 64. Those are listed by department. Because of the uncertainty of the impact of the virus, what kind of impact that would have on certain revenues, there's not very much change in the budgeted revenue from last year to this year. The increase in property taxes and also an increase in state of Illinois reimbursements has covered a decrease that we had in personal property replacement tax. And also, there was a decrease in the fees and fines collected by the circuit clerk. The decrease may be partly from the pandemic, also from the restructure of the fee schedule that happened the prior year from the state. The expenses in the general fund have increased minimally also. Only salary increases that were approved by bargaining units and/or the county board. The ending fund balances for all funds are shown on page 58, and overall the county's fund balances are strong. The drop in total fund balance is to be expected based on the previously mentioned expenses. Lastly, in an effort to follow criteria set by the Government Finance Officers Association for their Distinguished Budget Award, a few documents have been added this year to the budget. When I talked to the Finance Committee last week, I explained to them some of the things that were added. At the beginning of the budget, a demographics section was added on page 23, which we hope to update next year after the census information comes in. Tables and pie charts have been added for revenue and expenses for all funds by category. And then in the general fund, they're by category and then also by function. So you can see expenses that are for public safety or expenses that are general administration. Those are on pages 59 to 60 and 65 to 68. Those are all the things that changed. And I want to thank the Finance Committee and also Alina and Ginger. We work really hard to try to achieve the goals, and we like the guidance that we get to be able to achieve them. So I'm happy to present the budget for fiscal year 21.
Well, thanks, Diane. That was a nice presentation. Any questions?
Diane, this is Board. I'd like to say thank you to you and your team for the hard work that you guys do, and it shows. And I, for one, know that I'm not the only one that appreciates it. So with that, I just want to say thank you once again.
You're welcome.
I'd like to add to that. I know there was a lot of knuckle dragging when we were talking about changing the format of the budget, and a lot of people didn't want to go away from the old system. This new system is awesome. It is so much more easy to follow. You can see where your money goes. You see where it's coming in. Thank you so much, because it is so much better.
Nope.
My compliments as well to all of you, all three of you, everyone. Any other questions or comments for Diane? Need a motion? Oh,
No.
Sure.
Go ahead.
Motion the budget be submitted for the next year. Thanks, Diane, and Elena, and Ginger.
Now, this is being submitted to be put on display, right?
Correct.
Correct.
Not approved, put on display. Gerald, is that a second? I think Gerald had a second.
Gerald?
Had a second.
Okay. Gerald, second.
Gerald.
Aaron.
Okay, roll call, please.
Carly.
Yes.
Ambrose.
Yes.
Mays.
Yes.
Lovell.
Yes.
Fitstum. Flackard.
Yes.
Herring.
Yes.
Runyon.
Yes.
Killian.
Yes.
Wilkie.
Yes.
Kirkton.
Yes.
Vietti. Bunning. Slagle.
Yes.
Manker. Schaefer.
Yes.
Fannin.
Yes.
Ritter.
Yes.
Arbogast.
Yes.
Barrickman.
Yes.
Allen.
Yes.
Okay, we also have for your consideration, I see Nikki's name is on the monitor. If she'd have any commentary, we got 2 mobile home redemptions and a lot land redemption in Odell. Any comment, Nikki? Or oops, tax sales, redemption of taxes. Motion same be approved.
So move Byron.
By Gerald. Okay, roll call, please.
Carly.
Yes.
Ambrose.
Yes.
Mays.
Yes.
Lovell.
Yes.
Fitstum.
Yes.
Blackard.
Yes.
Herring.
Yes.
Runyon.
Yes.
Killian.
Yes.
Wilkie.
Yes.
Kirkton.
Yes.
Vietti. Bunning. Slagle.
Yes.
Manker. Schaefer.
Yes.
Fannin.
Yes.
Kestner. Ritter.
Yes.
Arbogast.
Yes.
Barrickman.
Yes.
Allen. Yes.
Okay, last item for the board's consideration through the Federal Cure Program of money allotted to Livingston County. We've developed a resolution authorizing hazard pay certain employees from March 18th through May 31st. You've been provided the resolution. If you have questions, Elena has agreed to answer them.
Any questions?
I got just
Bill.
one. I had printed out a lot of information that, and I talked to Lena about one of them, the Coronavirus Release Fund. What, I don't know, makes me wonder is, one part of the thing here says, the statute also specifies that expenditures using fund payments must be necessary. Now, if we were using our own funds out of the general fund, would this be necessary? And I'm not, thank God for these people to work. I'm not saying that it's a bad thing. That's the one thing that's got me, and I don't like the idea of use it or lose it, but I'll take any.
You can answer that.
I guess the, what's necessary is determined by this board. So whether or not you choose whichever way is up to the board, so.
Oh, you did.
Use your mic, use your mic.
That's just what I was reading in here, and that's just popped out at me. I just thought I'd throw it out there. And like I said, the people that work during this, I can't do, I can't do anything, but thank you.
Please use your mic.
Oh, sorry. I was saying that, thank you to the people that did work. This popped out at me. I worked during this time. I didn't get anything, but that's my company. I just wanted people to know that this was in there. So, food for thought.
Any other questions or?
Yeah.
Joel?
I unfortunately didn't have a whole lot of time to review this beforehand, but it's my understanding that we're going to get reimbursed for the majority of these. Is how this works? Can you just quickly explain that?
Sure. So if you review the letter, when we originally proposed this, it was made clear by DCEO that hazard pay was eligible for reimbursement. As some of those questions came through from DCEO and their responses, there were some contradictions in terms of their responses. So it became more and more questionable as to who would be eligible and that sort of thing. So it appears that all public safety, public health, and human services individuals are eligible for hazard pay. The others are not clear. I would say that the likelihood that we'll get reimbursed for the other categories, and it's about 25% that would fall under that category, in that they don't fall under public health, public safety, human services. The others, they should. What we did in that 2-month period, originally we presented this to the committee in August, and then we pulled that from the board agenda and did not move forward because we wanted to make sure that we were confident in what we were presenting to you. So we had to look at a different approach to make sure that we were receiving reimbursement that would cover this. And so what we did is we took a different approach and we submitted the opposite. So we submitted for all the individuals for the administrative leave pay that we already had budgeted and already had expended. And so we've received and been approved for a good portion of that already, and we expect to receive even more than what we will be expending as part of this.
So to be clear, on this letter, it says that we are, by this vote, we'll be approving $128,000 of hazard pay, and that we should, but not guaranteed, be reimbursed approximately $93,000
That's
of that.
correct. Mhm.
So we're on the hook for the other $35,000.
Right, but we've received administrative pay, that's why we had submitted for that, so we made sure that we had enough, no matter what, to cover the expenses. So this was about $128,000, like you mentioned, and not having the numbers in front of me, I believe the administrative leave pay covered $191,000.
So we're not on the hook for the 35,000, is what you're saying?
We've already received, we've received a check already for the administrative leave, specifically for the probation department, $81,000. We've received that. We submitted them separately, just because it was easier for us to document.
So we're getting reimbursed twice for this, basically, is what you're
No.
saying? We've gotten gotten $191,000, and then we're going to get another $93,000, and of that,
No.
we're going to spend
Okay, so
$128,000?
the two things are different. So, what we did. I'm sorry? What?
What? Can you speak up, Elena?
What was that? Okay. Sorry about that. No, so they're two different things. Yeah. I appreciate that, Joel, because I'm not.
No.
Okay, so no, they're two different things. So when we looked at this, we looked at, mostly it was for the employees that had to be here, but the only fair way to do it across the board was to do it by hourly, by hours worked. And so initially, we didn't think that the other portion would be eligible because there was some language in there that says that, that the CURE program can only be used for non-budgeted expenses. But after reading between the lines, it became clear that the budget expenses, if they're substantially different, can be eligible. So what we did was we submitted for the items that they did not work. So we submitted for hours not worked as part of the administrative leave pay, and when we submit this, we'll be submitting for hazard pay for the hours worked. Two different things.
That was clear as mud.
I'd like to compliment you on writing this grant or getting these grants. That's a lot of work. I know I've done a lot of them. And the thing that I don't think people understand is this money is allocated to go out anyway. So if we don't use it, somebody else is going to get that portion. So I think it's a great thing that you're reimbursing these people and for what the work they did.
Thank you.
Yeah, go ahead, Linda.
Okay, we've had some good discussions during our joint finance personnel meetings over the last 3 committee meetings, I guess, and there have been some valid points brought up on both sides, and I have listened to them. I know that some people think we just need to spend it because somebody else will spend it, but possibly somebody else, some other local government isn't as well off as we are, and they could use it more. Because I saw people, in the beginning, they had come up with some figures, and then other members are saying, we needed to beef up those figures and beef up those numbers, so it seemed like we were doing some creative accounting. I guess my difference is just a philosophical difference. I don't look to the federal government to solve all of our problems. They didn't cause this. We are part of government. I could see some extra pay for some of the people, but I don't really think we as a government should get paid for some of the things that we've had extra expenses for. We should make it work. I guess I am against government giving money to other government entities. Even in the new stimulus plan that's out there, when you read down at the ridiculous things that are on there, $1 trillion to the airlines recycle and save program. What does that have to do with COVID? $300 million each to the endowment for the arts and for the humanities. And you have to realize that some people out there in the general population feel the relief given to government employees who lost nothing. If they worked extra hours, they were paid extra. They view this as ridiculous and just kind of gilding the lily. The government in general can gain back their money. We can charge more fees. We can charge more taxes. The average citizen or business cannot do that. That's where this money should be going, even to some large corporations. The airlines industry has been hurt a lot. Just in yesterday's paper, I read where the cruise industry did not get any money, and certainly they have been hurt by this. It has stuck in my mind that somebody on the Finance Committee said this is free money. And I've really been mulling this over. Was that just a sarcastic statement? Was it facetious? Was it meant to be funny? I don't know. The government has no money until they take it from the taxpayers. So it's not free money. It's taken from somebody else that we're spending. I've seen our employees that have our executive director, our finance director, and our human resources director have had to try and act like Solomon, trying to divide this money up. I hear the word all the time, fair and equitable. I don't know how fair and equitable it is using other people's money, but they have done a lot of work trying to keep the staff happy. I understand about being good to your employees. I would give you a list of our employees for the last 20 years, and I would have to say no one would say they've been mistreated, and it's all been a great relationship. I understand about rewarding it, but it's easy to spend someone else's money. I will be happy to put this vote behind us and move on. Thank you.
Any other remarks, questions?
Hey, Tim, just one question. On the anticipated 14,000 for Election Day holiday, is that for Christie's?
No, it's not. It's for the state mandated holiday. That's the additional expense anticipated that the county will incur from having to close on Election Day as part of the state's action.
Yeah, John, go ahead. Didn't they just yesterday or something say we didn't have to close? Or what
So
was
the
happening?
Illinois Municipal League filed suit against the state, and they did rule that municipalities did not have to close. They did not include, the counties were not included as part of that. And when we did have a meeting with UCCI, United Counties Council of Illinois, and they indicated the reason why they didn't join that lawsuit is because they felt like there were, that the municipalities had a better position. There was language available to them that was not available in the county's code, is my understanding.
So, get it off dead center. Bill, do you want to make a motion to approve this?
Jason has a question.
Okay, Jason, I'm sorry.
I'll move.
Hold on. Jason, go ahead. Thank you, Jason. Okay, Bill, do you want to make a motion to approve? Okay.
Yes, I'll make a motion.
There's
We
a
approve.
motion, is there a second? At least gets it up for a vote.
Gerald?
Gerald, okay, got a motion and a second? Got a roll call?
Carly,
Yes.
Ambrose,
No.
Mays,
No.
Lovell,
Yes.
Fitstum. Yes. Blackard,
No.
Airing,
Yes.
Runyon,
Yes.
Killian,
Yes.
Wilkie,
Yes.
Kirkton,
Yes.
Vietti,
Yes.
Bunning. Slagle,
No.
Manker. Schaefer,
Yes.
Fannin,
No.
Ritter,
Yes.
Arbogast,
Yes.
Barrickman,
Yes.
and Allen. Yes.
Okay. Well, good. Thanks for all the participation.
16.
And that is that, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, Tim. Now we move down to Sheriff Jail and License Committee. Doc Harley.
Madam Chair, we have one action item, and that's to adopt the holidays for the 2021 year, which there are 12, and we all should have got the resolution in our packet showing those holidays. And at this point in time, I'd like to make a motion to approve those holiday schedule for 2021.
Your second?
Second, Wilkie.
Vietti, I'm sorry. We do need a roll call for that, Christie. Thanks.
Carly,
Yes.
Ambrose,
Yes.
Mays,
Yes.
Lovell,
Yes.
Fitstum. Blackard,
Yes.
Airing,
Yes.
Runyon,
Yes.
Killian,
Yes.
Wilkie,
Yes.
Kirkton,
Yes.
Vietti,
Yes.
Bunning. Slagle,
Yes.
Manker. Schaefer,
Yes.
Fannin,
Yes.
Ritter,
Yes.
Arbogast.
Yes.
Barrickman,
Yes.
Allen. Yes.
That concludes my report. I have no other action items. Just say the sheriff jail and license, sheriff in jail have been functioning well, and we've been getting some good reports from them. So we praise them and thank them for that. That's it, Madam Chair.
Okay, thank you. Any other committees that would like to report anything? I have nothing myself. Anybody else?
I guess, yeah.
Yep, John?
Yeah, for the I should have thought and prepared better for this. I didn't even think about it. Anyway, the Livingston County Housing Authority is getting ready to dispose of the Chatsworth properties that they have over there. Basically, they couldn't get enough people to live there, even with newly remodeled facilities. So basically, which causes their, I forget the word, points to go down, so they get less money from the government. They have a large vacancy rate there. So they haven't listed it for sale yet, but the properties are going to be listed for sale through a broker. They need to get some information from a letter from the county and the village of Chatsworth before they can list it for sale. And when it goes for sale, anybody can bid on it or buy it and make what you want with the property. And they're really nice buildings.
It's the whole kit and caboodle, right?
What's that?
They're not individual, it's the whole thing, right?
There's one downtown that has a set of buildings, and then there's two on the outskirts to the south. That whoever buys it could sell the individual properties if you can get the city to zone them individually, but they are 3 or 4 separately zoned tracts of multiple houses per unit. There was some rumors going around where people thought it was already sold to somebody out of Chicago or something like that, and that is not true. It's not even listed yet. So I think the city of Chatsworth is interested in it. Interesting.
John?
Oh, yeah.
I have a question. Is that all of it's going to be sold as one property, or are they going to separate it out in 3?
I'm not really sure how it's going to be. There's 3 or 4 distinct properties, so I would almost think you could buy it individually. It's a realtor. It's not like a government auction or anything. Yeah, and the interesting thing is the people that live there get basically golden tickets, I guess, where they can go live wherever they want in the HUD system and get reimbursed. So they'll be taken care of, even if somebody buys it and makes some private housing. So, and that's that. So people still live there, and it's going to be sold? Yes, there are people living there. The vacancy's pretty low. So I think there may be a third or a fourth full.
Okay. Can they actually throw those people out after somebody buys it, or how's that work?
Yep.
I mean,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah, and the people, they had meetings at each facility with the residents and talked to them, and they had the people there from the other county that's handing out the vouchers, so they can go elsewhere. And a lot of people end up, not a lot, some of them like living in Chatsworth, but some people, they come to the housing department to get a house, and there's none available in Pontiac. So they'll live in Chatsworth until one becomes available in Pontiac. So there's just not much shopping or stuff to do there, Thanks.
Okay, anyone else? Mr. Vietti, anything? Oh, you can't do that yet. Mr. Wilkie, did you have any from your committee? Okay, anybody else? All right, now we'll move down to public comment.
Madam Chairwoman?
Oh, yep. Mr. Vaughn's walking to the...
Okay.
Sorry.
Hi, I'm Joe Vaughn. I just wanted to formally thank the board for this rent waiver. It'll certainly help us move forward as we do our new addition. I want to thank Elaine and Kathy. They've been out there several times to kind of brainstorm about different things that we can do. John and Patrick on the property committee to kind of get things moving forward as well. But on behalf of the IHR board, I do appreciate the county board providing this waiver to us for the next several months so we can move forward with our addition. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. I'm sorry. Okay, go ahead, Christy.
Okay. I wanted to report that things are really happening in the county clerk's office with the voting that's going on. Since September 24th, we've had 1,723 people come in our back door, vote, and go out the front door. That's a record for us. The most we've ever had was in 2016, and that was 1,571. Wow. We have, let's see, about 7 more days of voting, so I'm sure we'll be up to 2,000 at least and more. The vote by mail, we've sent out 3,623 ballots, and we've received back so far 2,404. So it ends up being, between our early voting and the vote by mail ballots that we've received back, is about 20% of the registered voters. And if you look at it the other way, with the actual ballots, the total ballots that have been sent out, plus early voting, that would be about 25% of our registered voters have either voted in our office, or they've asked for or they've had a ballot mailed out, so it's going great. You know, we usually plan as though everybody's going to turn out, and then we're lucky maybe if we have 30 or 40% in most. In the past 2 presidential elections, we've been up to about 70% of turnout, and I think we're well on our way to that.
Good.
Good.
It's been fun watching the people come in, and some of the comments, you know, well, these are really important races, and then you'll have mom and daughter and their grandchild with them. We had this happen Saturday. It was funny. I went out and they were sitting on the bench, and I got their information, and the little boy is about 4 years old, and he's sitting there, and I was talking to him. I said, "Are you here to vote?" And he goes, "Yeah, we're going to vote for blah," and he blurted out the name that they were all going to vote for, and they're all going, "Shh, it's a secret." And then and I said, "It's okay. You can all go in and vote together." So he was happy because he got an I voted sticker too. So anyway, but yeah, it's really going good. Well, next week we'll be calling and lining up the precincts for delivery of the equipment. Will start on Friday and end up on Monday. We've had lots of people want to be judges this time. It helped when we sent out the applications that we mailed out to all the registered voters. We had 40 to 50 people respond back to be judges. So we should be doing good with that, unless something happens in the last, this last week, and we have people call in and say, they don't want to do it if the COVID spikes and that too. We have lots of things for the judges to help protect them, and we will be offering masks to voters that do come in that don't have them on. We ask that they do show up with them as a precaution to our election judges and the other people that would be there too. So we haven't had any issue with that in the office too. So I guess that's about all I have to say right now about it.
So people are really excited about that District 3 board race?
That's all they've been talking about, next to the president.
I thought so.
Did you have a comment, Linda, for Christie?
Christie, I've forgotten, is your office closed then that day because you're out busy doing things?
No, our office is open, but it's only open for election-related activities, because we are a precinct, and what we do is grace registration and voting in our office. The grace registration is for anybody who didn't register to vote, or they moved and they didn't get their registrations changed, so they come to our office, and that's where they go. In the past, we've had anywhere from 70 to 200 people show up. So, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
We'll be busy, and we have techs out that go throughout the area, and on most of the election days I go and visit all of the precincts, or get in as many as I can and answer questions and find out, what they're doing. We deliver things if stuff happens, they need more supplies. Our techs will be taking out extra PPE supplies and that too, as needed, to the different precincts too. We have 35 precincts. We ended up moving 6 of them. Public health was the last one. We moved that across to the Grace Episcopal Church that's on the other side of the road to the east of it, so that was easy. We've moved the Evenglow Lodge to the First Methodist Church to the west of it. Evenglow Inn, precincts 5 and 6 are being moved to the Pontiac Rec Center. Long Point is being moved from their township hall to the American Legion Hall, and Round Grove is going from their township shed to the Sacred Heart Parish Hall across from the church and campus. So,
Well, we appreciate all of you, everyone in your office, your hard work and doing what you're doing.
we're tired, but it's a happy tired.
Yeah. Exactly.
Thank you.
Any other, yeah, there was a comment from a Zoom. Nathan, is that correct? Is that Becca?
Yeah, it's me.
Yeah, go ahead, Becca.
Sorry, Mr. Mays, no, your life is not in jeopardy. That was me that accidentally unmuted my button after hearing Bob Lewinsky's statement on the news. So I apologize for that. I just wanted to, first of all, thank Christie. I was one of the people that came in early and voted a couple of weeks ago. It was a very smooth process. And I think they're doing a wonderful job over there, and I thank you for that. I'd also like to thank the members of the Ag Zoning and Emergency Services Committee and other county board members who made statements at the committee, and thank you for not for tabling or actually getting rid of opening up the wind energy conversion system ordinance. I would like to possibly recommend, however, that the website be updated with the new ordinance. I believe that a lot of the wind development